Welcome, audio fans. It's time for another episode of the podcast, presented by j&J Production Studios, your home for entertainment with your favorite shows available every week. And now, it's time to begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there, sports fans. Welcome. This is the What's Up Bro show, but it's the What's Up Bro sports show. It is I, Sam Crow, along with, you know him and all love him, Taskmaster Bill Van Vagel himself. Also featuring his shows, Music, Moving, Sports, and Stuff, which we'll talk about later, and co-hosting on Land of the Creeps, another favorite that you guys may or may not have heard. Amber is here tonight. Hello, Amber. Thank you for tuning in. Glad to have you here.
Hey, Amber. I hope everything is going well and you're ready to be thrilled by sports talk.
Yep, we're going to dive into it. All latest stuff. We got hockey action going on. There's stuff all over. We're going to talk about NBA stuff has been happening.
Some NFL moves. There's baseball is starting to rear its ugly head into some teams already this season. The Red Sox are cleaning house, and
yep.
Things.
So
I
think the fun one we're going to start is, and I like to do this one because this one is gaining traction, and I know it's obviously you're getting the NFL buzz. We're not quite there. I mean, training camp's going to hit in a few weeks, but I want to kind of talk about the still somewhat big story that's circulating, just because I find it interesting, and I never believe a lot of the chats that I hear. But I want to kind of dig this deeper. It says now the NFL draft is over. Now we're getting into the roster filling, the rookie training camps and stuff. I've heard some more talk about this. I hear this going back and forth, but the elephant in the room, and again, it goes back to, it does involve Philly. So the Eagles drafted Mekhi Lemon out of USC, kind of seemingly completing their wide receiver room, which begs the question, what will happen with A.J. Brown? Now, the story circulating has been, seems like the Patriots are the most likely destination if they trade him. Now, according to Howie Roseman, who was on the Rich Eisen show the other day, I still think he's playing coy, but he just simply said A.J. Brown's a Philadelphia Eagle. And that's all we're saying about that. You're not going to divulge anything. Let's be honest. But let's just break this down for a second, because again,
if I may add, I don't know that he's allowed to say anything unless there's an actual transaction.
Very true. That's very true. Number one, and I was going to say also, I haven't been around sports as long as you have, but you know the old adage. People play coy for that one. When you lock up a receiving core like that, and you're going younger, there's going to be an odd man out. And when the story is circulating about who that person is, it's not really, and most of the sports analysis and the analysts have said at this point, it's not really a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. I know that right now the target date is post June 1st, is what is believed to be the target move. And again, as it's been reported, the Patriots are the number one destination according to sources right now. Question though is, I think we talked about this before, but what would the compensation look like at this point? Because obviously now the draft is out of the way, so there's no currency compensation for this year. Does that devalue the offer? Do the Eagles have to ask for a lower bid? Because if you think about it, what team is going to surrender a lot of draft capital now? I mean, a lot of teams have used it already. So, but again, it also doesn't make sense. Just for the devil's advocate flip side, there's really no sense in holding on to him because that room is overcrowded. Something's going to have to give. And if he's on the roster after that June 1st date, he's got a huge bonus that kicks in, which is a financial problem for the team. So all indicators would suggest that a move is likely to happen. But really the question is, what would be a good compensation piece? What would you offer if you were GM Bill for the Eagles? Like if you're looking for, obviously there's parameters, but what do you think is a good asking price at this point?
Well, it's funny you said, the room's too overcrowded. A team will never be overcrowded for talent. They'll make room. If A.J. Brown were willing to play, there'd be a spot there. I don't know the ins and outs that well because not being a quote-unquote Philadelphia fan, I don't know what all the blood and guts is as to what led to this. I don't know if it was a lack of communication or he didn't like the play calling or he has a problem with management or he's underpaid. I'm not sure on that end.
Kind of all of the above, really, if you break it in short. It's kind of all of the above.
All of the above?
And also the target situation. I think the breaking point was last year, the year before, whatever it was coming in. Devontae Smith took more of the targets, and he felt disrespected of he wasn't being targeted as a number one receiver. He wasn't getting the playing time wasn't there.
I think Devonta Smith is seen as I'm a Packer fan, so he's seen as a Romeo Doubs type, safe,
right.
reliable, knows how to run a route, doesn't make dumb mistakes. Although maybe he has, I'm not sure. Whereas AJ Brown has been known to have a couple drops, but he's a much more dynamic player.
Right. Yep.
He's the one that'll stretch the field 70 yards for a touchdown.
Yep.
So it's I'm very curious what the compensation would be. They could go in one of two tracks. Now, you mentioned the 2026 draft is finished.
Yep.
The 2027 draft is supposed to be far superior to the 2026 draft.
Heavier class,
so,
yep.
So teams are either loath to give up the picks unless it really helps them,
right,
or look to collect as many, even if it's a 6th or a 7th rounder.
Mm-hmm.
Because there were players that were drafted this year in the 7th round, say, that last year would have just been undrafted free agents.
Right.
Like this year, if it was this year, Nussmeier from LSU probably wouldn't even have been drafted. And as it was, he was a 7th rounder. Green Bay apparently wanted him as a UDFA. But somebody, I think it was it the Saints? Somebody snagged him in the 7th round. Okay, so if they want to go the draft route, I would think it would be something in the neighborhood of a 1st and a 4th.
Right. It was a Kansas City Chiefs that drafted Nussmeier.
Kansas City. Okay, Kansas City. But it was in the 7th round.
Yes, yep.
I think it's seen as in case Mahomes doesn't come back quite as quick.
I don't think he will either. So, but they do have depth. They have Justin Fields there also. So
yeah, I mean Justin Fields is good enough to walk in day one, need be. Nothing's.
That's what they're looking for, and he's only under contract. So I think what they're thinking is they'll have him, and then Nussmeier will take his job next year when they let Fields walk in free agency and et cetera.
Because there was a time, maybe about 2 years ago, where Nussmeier was projected to be a 1st round or at least a top 3 round quarterback.
I remember those, mock drafts, yep. Mm-hmm.
But he's dealing with he dealt with injuries. I didn't get extensively into him this year because I knew he wasn't going to be one of the first 10 quarterbacks drafted or whatever.
No.
Actually, he might have been among the first 10. There might have only been 5 or 6 actually drafted the whole draft. It wasn't a strong.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot. It was not a good class. The quarterback class was not good this year. So,
but to get back to compensation for Brown, you could go, like 1st round this year, 4th round this year, and a 3rd the following year, that kind of thing.
See, it would make sense. But the only problem, that's why I'm saying, like, it kind of is. For me, it's if I'm Philadelphia, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot because now again, the initial anticipation was there could be a move made during the draft or just before the draft happened because obviously you want to capitalize on opportunity. So now, if Philadelphia is still holding that hope for a 1st rounder, you're going to have to wait obviously for 27 because obviously the next draft will be next year. Now maybe on the bright side there, I know the initial call was they're going to push for a 1st and a 2nd rounder, which I think is a little too expensive. I don't think a lot of teams are going to pay that.
That's a little steep. Considering the quality of the draft, that's too steep. But I could see, that's why I said 1st and 4th. You could maybe squeeze a 1st and a 3rd, but that's for a team that's on the brink and they see Brown as the finishing touch, the cream on top of the cherry on top of the cream.
Hence why they think, and the belief is that the Patriots are the top option because of making the Super Bowl this past year here. And
because New England does not exactly have a premier receiver. They work collectively. They're a collective bunch kind of thing.
But they really need for Drake May's sake, if they refix that line, he's going to need a number 1 target. Obviously, Diggs is not there now, and Romeo Doubs is not going to be a true number 1. It's just not going to happen. He'll be a nice number 2.
I was going to say, I will tell Patriots fans, Romeo Doubs I quite like Romeo Dobbs is a safe option. He's smart, but
Yeah.
he's immature.
Right.
And
Well, that's
he
why I
had a
say
couple
he's not a true number one. He's a good
No.
complement to maybe a 3, but
Yes.
he's not a number 1.
Yeah. So the other route they could go, like if you go first, third, and a future fifth, okay. You could also go first, sixth, and a player on roster that can help you.
Yep, and I think that
Yeah, I was
who are
going
you
to
gonna
say,
who you pick?
which New England receiver, Butte or
That's
who else?
that's the one that trades Keyshawn Boot. Yep, that's the target there. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or I mean, you could even go. You don't even have to get a receiver. I mean, if they think they need a backup running back, or if they think they need an extra guard, those are the kinds of things. If you think he can step in right now and help you, would you rather have a 26-year-old that's good to go, or would you rather have a 22-year-old you're going to develop?
That's fair too. The thing about this trade, this is where it's interesting because I know the roster for. I mean, they have some pieces, but the reason I think, for me, I think the compensation would be enticing for Philly is because number one, too, is Philadelphia could take another receiver. They don't necessarily need it, so it's not a huge need at this point. But Keyshawn Bowie is a nice addition because he's going to be, I think, 24 years old. He had some pretty good targets last year, so he's not exactly. This is like his going to be his 3rd season now, 2nd season, something like that.
New England didn't draft a receiver, did they?
They did not. Nope.
They did not. So, like, I find it odd that a team that is a Super Bowl contender and doesn't have the strongest receiving core didn't even draft one in the 5th round.
Which signals you what? They kind of signals what they're hoping for. Yeah.
Well, yes, but it also leaves them, if they're left at the altar, Butte or whatever is going to be their number 1 receiver again.
It'll be what they'll do is they'll try to make Dobbs there. They do also have Kyron Williams, who's younger, but they can pull him up. Who else was in the thralls there? There's pieces there. The other thing that they will probably also do, and I've heard this mentioned, and I can see this happening because he'll probably come at a discount as long as he doesn't sign anywhere else, which thus far he hasn't. There's always that possibility they could reunite with Stephon Diggs at a cheaper discounted rate because they did let him walk, but they weren't going to pay him the salary bump that he was looking for. And again, unless another team is willing to pay that, which probably won't happen until after training camp when teams start to see what they have, he'll be sitting there. So I think that what the Patriots are banking on is if they swing and miss at AJ Brown. One other option I thought was an interesting one, and I hope they could do this down the road. I didn't know if they were going to do this year. This has also been, again, this is just rumor at this point, but I heard it, and I don't know. I know he signed his tender, so he's at least under contract this year yet. But one key piece I was pushing for the Patriots, I would love for them to do is even if they can land Brown, it's be a nice 1 and 2 tandem. The other receiver in question that's out there that has talent, that's still young, I think he's 25 this year, who's a proven guy who's been overshadowed by Jamar Chase, is T. Higgins. And if somehow, again, maybe, I don't know, again, I think Higgins is locked in this year. He did sign his franchise tag, but there's some dissension between the Bengals there, so there could be an option there. So they might also be exploring that option, if not this year, next year. Again, it doesn't help the Patriots this year, obviously. But that's why I think and again, they're banking on Kyron Williams. They drafted him. He's got some potential talent there. They also did draft a tight end, which they gave him their backup and possible Hunter Henry replacement, that Eli Raritan out of Notre Dame.
What round did he draft? Did he get drafted in?
I think it was the 3rd round.
Okay, so he was part of that huge tight end run.
Yeah. Yep.
Because there was a point there where
they were going left and right. Yep.
An exorbitant amount, and a lot of them weren't the Shannon Sharp, Tony Gonzalez type. A lot of them were inline blockers.
Right.
Which goes to show you that, either a lot of teams are going to play 2 tight end sets or a little bit more on the running game because they want the blocking.
Yeah, I think that's a fair. You know what? It's funny too because the Patriots are big on this. This is going back Gronk and his name that we don't speak of, but I'll say it one time. Aaron Hernandez, when they had the 2 tight ends, that they had a nice little package deal there. A lot of teams seem to favor that. If you can have a nice one, it's like the running back core now. You have a nice 1-2 punch at least. It gives you more options at weaponry there.
Well, it's funny. I just pulled up the free agents available.
Well, that's
if they wanted a tight end or anybody, David Njoku is sitting there. Nobody has signed him.
There's a reason though. You kind of know why that is too. If you don't know that reason, I can enlighten that too. But
I don't know all the ins and outs. The Cleveland Browns are an absolute mess, so I never, it's.
Well, Njoku wanted out. His production has dipped. He's about to hit 30, but he's also been injury plagued the last season or two. And I think the concern for teams is if they can't get him at a discounted rate, their concern is that are they going to overpay? Because obviously, I think he only had, what was his production last year? I think he only amassed he was less than 1,000 yards, like 800 yards receiving or something like that, which is a relatively lower dip in percentage. Considering their receiving core is not good. So
when you also consider the turnover in quarterback play,
yeah,
you got Dylan Gabriel, Shadur Sanders, a wonky at the beginning of the year, Deshaun Watson. Like, even if he did really well when they had Joe Flacco in there.
Yeah.
And so he's the kind of guy. Carolina just beat Philly in overtime.
There it is. Told you.
Carolina Panthers beat the Philadelphia Flyers 3-2 with 1:06 left in the first overtime.
There you go.
There you go. It's live on the spot.
Yep. Exactly. This is like ESPN. This is our own version. We give live action tracking. So if you're
I would make the noise, but it's probably copywritten.
I don't want to. Yeah, I was gonna say we'll have to come up with. That's too universal. That would definitely warrant a copyright.
But it's funny. It's funny. I went to the list and I isolated just wide receivers.
Yep,
that are still available. Like if they wanted to get a guy like Josh Reynolds or Noah Brown, they're available. Yep. But if they want to take, I wouldn't say chances, but take a risk no other team has yet so far, I would stay away from Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Until you do your due diligence on that.
And I think they have already. So.
And you've got Stephon Diggs, who, to a lesser extent, you got to do a bit of research on. He's been better in the last year or two, but towards the end of his tenure in Buffalo, it got a bit weird.
Well, the reasons behind him is because of the legal trouble. That's why teams are kind of hesitant right now to
legal trouble. But he also, I remember when he was in Buffalo, because Buffalo's the closest NFL team to me. There was a lot of stuff about he wanted out. He wasn't quite mentally strong. He was a little flaky. But the guy's got God-given skill you just can't teach.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's why I think that's the Patriots. That's their number one fallback. The reason they didn't re-sign him also is I think their thinking is if nobody signs him and he's still there, they have the leverage because you can negotiate cheaper. He's going to want a job, so he's going to have to cut his offer down if he wants to sign because that's usually where that wait and see approach kind of.
Because it says here last year he made $21 and change million. He's not going to get that. He's not going to get.
And I think he said his asking price was closer to 30. He wanted to be a top receiver. That's why the Patriots said we're not paying. We're going to move on from that. We're not paying you $30 million a year.
He can't get any more than 15 to 17.
No. And that's why I said I think the team is banking on him to hold. They're going to hold out as long as possible because it's a waiting game. It's like the poker game of who's going to cave first. And if nobody else jumps to sign him, then what's he going to do? I can come to you and say, hey, Bill, you're a free agent. Nobody signed you. I'll bring you back, but you're going to take a heavy discount because we need to save some money. And you want a job, don't you? So
the other guy that's sitting there that I haven't ever researched the backstory why he's still sitting there is Deebo Samuel. No, I wonder, is he flaky? Is he a bad teammate? Is he looking for too much? Is his agent a dick? Like, what is the...
His agent probably has one. No. So the issue there, from what I understand for Deebo, is there has been some drama-fueled issues, but I think his production has dipped. He was off injured. I think he had a nagging ankle injury at one point or something that was persistently bothering him.
Is he perceived as just a gadget guy? Or can he be a legit receiver?
He's not really he had his straight run there with the Niners, but then when he came to, I think the Commanders gave him that shot coming over thinking he could be a number one. I mean, they obviously had Terry McLaurin, but I don't think he lived up to that hype. And so I think that, and see teams kind of watch this throughout a season. So I don't think he did himself any favors as far as warranting teams to go, ooh, we need a number one. That's the guy who put up all these numbers this year. And that's the guy who was getting 20 targets a game and having a 1,500-yard season. And, but I think he only averaged, what did he average this year? I think he was hurt several games. I think he only averaged like 750, maybe 800 yards. Like he was less than 1,000, so he didn't cap it there. So,
and the other thing to think about with him is his best years were in San Francisco when he was healthy under Shanahan. Shanahan has a system where he will use your skills to his advantage, and they'll make it work.
Correct.
But if you're not at peak capacity, he might move on to the next guy.
Yeah.
So I think wasn't healthy enough.
Yeah. So I think a lot of it is, this is part of the fun of the hardship for us waiting game is just finding that right fit there. And again, I think though the thing I hate with teams though anymore is the overpaying when, I get wanting to get quality core good players. And I get finding franchise guys. I've been watching sports 30 some years. I get all that stuff. I've seen it done. I've seen a lot of greats coming, all that stuff. The problem though is why overpay? Like I'm trying to think of if you go back, well, the only example I could think of more recently, and I still laugh at this because you don't really see a lot of holdouts anymore. Like the NFL used to have holdouts back in the day. Players would, all that stuff. The more recent one outside, well, Hendrickson was one, but the biggest one, you probably remember this was just back in like 7-8 years ago, was the Le'Veon Bell incident where he went to Pittsburgh and said, I want a new contract. The Steelers said, forget that. And so he held out. Essentially, he held out for the whole season and threw away his $14 million contract because he had to give all the money back because he didn't play. Then he gets a big deal. But like, and I give credit for Pittsburgh. Like they said, we gave you a contract. We're not paying you anymore. Now you're asking for more. Play out your contract and then we'll talk after the season. You know what I mean? Like, let's try to be fair about this.
I thought you were going to bring up Antonio Brown.
That's another good one. There's a lot of interesting ones we could go that route too. I was going to save that for a more diva-esque story because he says, "Oh, I don't like the Raiders. I want out." He's just, if you want to touch it, I can tell you, I don't care for much anywhere. Anyway, no. He's a jerk anyway.
Looking at this list of what's available, if they don't want Diggs or Tyreek, I think realistically a fallback would either be Curtis Samuel or what's his name, Juwan Jennings from San Fran.
Yeah. That could be an option.
Like there's Keenan Allen. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot.
No.
Johan Dotson has never been consistent.
Oh, Johan Dotson. He's actually. They probably didn't update that. He's actually not on the market. They might not have updated that. He did sign with Atlanta, so they probably didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, they probably didn't update that list yet. But yeah, he's off the board.
Josh Reynolds is an interesting guy because he got the speed.
Yeah,
he's never quite been able to just put it all together.
Well, you're playing in Detroit. You're playing with Denver. I mean, they're not exactly lights out explosive offenses either. So,
but there might be something to maybe he doesn't read a playbook well, or
that's true.
Maybe he never had a rapport with a quarterback. Or
that's possible. I mean, I think ultimately the story is the reason why the Brown deal is so appealing for the Patriots are going to try to make it because people. I know I'm not one of them, but I know other fans have done it, calling out saying you got to make a splash to give Drake May that number one, like the year Brady had Randy Moss. You got to give him something to light the fans up about. Give him something that they see as a deep threat. The old adage of you want that core. Even go back to the year you could split. I always split this. Favre had both Donald Driver and Jordy Nelson when they were like the top target going out. That kind of thing is what you're looking at.
Well, I was going to bring up Green Bay in terms of what they could model after now. They've got 4 guys that are number 2s.
Yeah.
And they have Matthew Golden, who really wasn't used much last year.
No.
But he's got that God-given speed that if he ever gets, unfurled, he could do. What I do think New England probably did, I haven't looked at their list yet, is they're undrafted free agents.
Mm-hmm.
Because at least when Belichick was there, they invested pretty well with UDFAs.
Yeah.
And so if you bring 2 or 3 of them into camp that, maybe there's a reason they're slightly slower or their hands are questionable, but they can fly. Kind of like when Green Bay had a Scantling.
Oh yeah, Valdez Scantling. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, MVS. Like a player like that. Green Bay drafted him, I think, in the 6th round. Or
Yeah, it was late round.
But there's got to be somebody from a smaller university or at a big school that was hurt, or it was a deep school, who can run a 4.4, but has 18 career catches.
Right.
That kind of thing. I also heard today that there was some talk. Green Bay signed Virginia Tech quarterback, something Jones. I have to look up.
Oh yeah, I can't think of
I can't. It's something Jones. I'd have to look it up. But they were saying he's such a good athlete that the tendency might be, if Green Bay's shy of receivers, have him try out as a receiver. So you never know if you take a guy that's a DB or a running back and he played, say, Kentucky or Indiana or a school that mixes their players up.
It's hard though, because you think about it, and I go back old school. I saw this done before. Sometimes it works, but a lot of times it doesn't, because a lot of players can't hack it at position changes. Like, just as an example, I'm trying to think of a couple of good ones. They were trying to move.
Who was the DB that New England had in their heyday that also played receiver? Brown. What was his name?
Oh, yeah. Let me think. Hang on.
He was a corner, and then he stepped up to a receiver.
Yeah, I can't think of his name though. I know who you mean. I remember that.
I can't remember his first name.
Yeah, I think he played in college. I think he was a receiver. Well, that's the same thing like Edelman. Edelman played quarterback, but yet came to receiver. It's not impossible. I think the problem is when you bank on that, though, it's always a risk, because, like, now, just as an example, this is a bad one, and I liked him a lot, and I think he got done dirty by the league. But when Tim Tebow was in the league, I think that shot coming back to Jacksonville, the tight end, that just was not a good idea. Like, clearly,
clearly, there's a reason why, for example, Cooper Kupp, when he was on the kind of pushed out the door by the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Why teams? He may be 37. He might have the odd nick and tear here and there, but he's a quality, reliable receiver that knows how to run a route.
Well, he's not even that old.
No. Well, how old is he?
I think he's only like 33.
Okay, 33. I apologize.
But he's been injury riddled too. That's what they're looking at. He's got a lot of mileage on himself.
Anytime you're on the other side of 30,
you're on the wrong side of 30. Yeah. Yep.
You better be a unicorn, or you won't be out here too long.
You're right.
But there's a reason why he got that contract, because he works in many systems. He's smart. He's not afraid to go down the middle. He has reliable hands. Like that. That's kind of like Romeo Dobbs.
A little bit, yeah.
Romeo. It's the intellect and the maturity.
Yep. He's kind of like, if you go back further, the other guy I like that was a Packer great. It was just like the Dobbs. He was the Dobbs back in the day. Was Randall Cobb.
Well, Randall Cobb or James Jones.
Or James Jones, the other one. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Same sort of. He's never going to be a 4.3 sprinter.
No.
He's never going to make your OBJ catches, but he'll get you at the end of the day. There's at least 80 yards receiving.
But he's a reliable safety blanket. You'll catch if you need a catch. He's the guy open. Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I heard the other day that OBJ was at least contacting the Giants. I don't know if they're working them out.
I heard there was rumored there. I don't know. Again, it could be interesting because they lost Wan'Dale Robinson, and I don't know. I think, if anything, probably for mentorship for Malik Neighbors, because obviously they gotta foster something there.
Well, they need a decent number 2. They have that Wan'Dale Robinson, but like, who is there?
No, he's gone. He's gone.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
He signed with the Titans. Yeah, he left.
I'd have to look up who their secondary receiver is.
I don't know if they sign anybody yet. See, the problem though with OBJ is, again, he's on the wrong side. He's 30. I think he's like my age. So,
do you remember when Terrell Owens came back in the CFL? It's like that kind of thing,
Yep.
And I still think up until about the age of 50, he was looking for indoor.
He was working out at 48, 49. He said, I reached out to teams during the playoff. I'm like, listen, no one's gonna. I can at least play third down. Third down. You come in at 49 years old receiver, you're going to get killed. They're going to come out there and hit you with those DBs. Like, come on, man.
You're going to run into a 26-year-old safety who's just going to knock your shoulder out.
And I don't care. Like, he had his shirt off. He's flexing the pecs. He had a nice six-pack. I mean, he looked built for a 48 years old. But again, it looks good. But as soon as it's like brittle bones. As soon as they hit you, though, you're going to get rattled around and knocked on the field, taking heavy collisions, taking those those catches in the air where you're going to get hit mid-drift and you're going to land awkwardly. You're not going to land cleanly.
I mean, the thing is, you can find maybe 3 catches he makes that you go, yeah, fantastic. But what about the other 17?
Right. And if they need you to target, say, you got to give us at least 15% of the snap. Can you run that long? That's a lot of wear and tear to go out there constantly. You could play in the slot, but, there's – so I think with like OBJ, for example, we have another podcast inquiry. Sorry. Interesting.
Well, I think we've spent a lot of time on that. Why don't we
I'm gonna I'll just say this. My last one for the Brown thing is I would say I think Kayshon Boutte and maybe let's see, second or third, maybe a fifth, maybe a sixth, just for balance. I think that would be fair. Don't know if it'll happen, but
I don't know if they would give up a first in this draft.
No.
If a team's given up a first, it's for a quality, established, proven player on a team that's that close.
And you also know is that they do that too. Maybe not even that. It could be a loser team that's going to overpay, which is fine if they got the money. But I think for Brown, it's more about if you want to win, you got to be careful where you try to get yourself landed. So,
like if you're Jacksonville, you can give up that pick. But
do you really want to play in Jacksonville? I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I guess time will tell.
Tax-free state.
That's true too. Well, we'll keep you posted on that because we won't know. The next target date for that is June 1st. So by that time, we should have more details. So as soon as it breaks, we'll share that.
For example, today Green Bay signed Tyrod Taylor.
I was looking at that's gonna be the next thing I said. That's interesting.
Yeah,
he's gotten around.
He's back. Like the thing with Tyrod is I'm gonna estimate 32, 33.
You're cute.
But he's been on 5 teams, I think. 5 teams.
Try like my age. He's 37. He's up there.
Is he actually 37? Okay.
Yep.
But if he needs to play in a game, he's not going to get flustered. He's started playoff games before. He's led teams to the playoffs. Now, successfully, okay, that's another story. But if you're relying on Tyrod Taylor, Green Bay is built to make the Super Bowl.
They just need a game manager. That's what he could be.
He needs to be Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
That's what he needs to be.
And now, actually, go ahead.
I was going to say the only difference is if Green Bay has plays for Jordan can throw the ball 70 yards in the air. I don't know if Tyrod can.
Yeah, see here, but they also have before signing. He's not quite he's my age, but I'm not sure when he turns 30. He's 36. The only quarterbacks the Packers had on the roster was Desmond Ridder and Kyle McCord.
And they released Ridder.
I was gonna say he's got to be gone at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. Ridder. Well, I mean, you feel they didn't give money, but a veteran decent backup they say goes between $5 to $8 million. So it's an insurance policy, and they're hoping that it'll be like Malik Willis. Now, Malik Willis was younger with a little bit more athletic potential. But you know what I'm saying? Like you just need a guy.
Well, Malik Willis, his career is going to be over, and Miami's doing him nothing. He's going to get killed over there anyway. So there's nobody to throw to.
In one of my fantasy leagues where I paid pretty good money to get in, I drafted Malik Willis last year in like the 30th round because I needed a third quarterback, and you know that Love gets hurt now and again. And so now I can keep him for the next time. If he ends up being good, I'll have him for quite a while.
So here's another interesting one. Speaking of older quarterbacks, and I heard this story too since we're talking here. This is an interesting one because I heard the team, no deal is official. I kind of laughed because another guy he's actually about a year older than me. He'll be 38 or just turned 38. Still wants to play, has had a bad run of the luck, is Russell Wilson. And so the rumor is...
I heard retirement rumors the other day.
No, the rumors have changed now. So he went and actually had a meeting with the New York Jets.
Oh, did he?
So, yep. No deal imminent, but they brought him in to try him out because they need a backup for Geno Smith. And it was made clear if he comes in, Aaron Glenn said Geno's the starter, but we could use some depth at the position. So
what's the story on Jimmy G?
That's the retirement. The odds are he's probably going to retire. Yeah.
Is he because he's according to here he's 34 and a half, which means you could still play, but if his body's beaten up, he's probably made at least 30 million in his career. He can just,
Well, he's got 2 Super Bowls anyway, so
yeah. I mean, he can always, get into TV or, he could be a professor, maybe. I don't know, whatever he wants to do,
The problem, here's the thing. The problem is the market is shrinking. This is the thing. This is why they're saying with Russell Wilson, if he gets the job with the Jets, great. But the market, there's only so many jobs available for quarterbacks. And again, we talked about the draft, undrafted free agents. There's competition there. There's aging veteran. There's only so many spots.
How many teams can you think of off the top of your head other than Pittsburgh that doesn't have a defined number 1 quarterback? Like the Raiders will eventually get Mendoza there, but I forget who's the guy who's there now.
They have other than Mendoza, Kirk Cousins. Yeah,
Cousins will be the
he'll start.
I'm gonna say about week 7, 8.
Yeah, that's fair.
Depending on how well Cousins, if Cousins actually turns out to. He's always got skill. He makes no mistakes.
He's on the decline, though. At this stage at 38, I mean, I'm more willing to bet. As soon as it's like the old school days, as soon as the chants are going to start when the team starts to skip Mendoza, they're going to want to see him play.
But if, for example, I don't see it happening. But if Cousins were to get off to a 6-2 start, you're gonna probably ride him because they might have a playoffs chance.
Yeah,
but if they're anything less than, if they're below 500 by midway, I think, assuming he practices well and he shows enough maturity and knowledge of the playbook, I think he'll get in by about that.
Well, and so what I heard from rookie camp, he seems to be, the only struggle he's having is, and that's what their Clint Kubiak is teaching him now, is the only trade-off is, and I saw this news the other day, is they're teaching him to take more snaps from under center because when he was playing, in college, mostly shotgun. So they're trying to transition him to take more of this under center snaps to get more comfortable behind the line directly. But I said outside of that, he seems to be picking it up.
I mean, what helps him is prior to this year, Indiana had a good year last year. Prior to 2 years ago, Indiana wasn't known for football.
No.
It's like Kentucky. They have a team, but
nobody talks. They're more basketball than anything else.
Yeah, or Georgia Tech, or like these schools. They're big universities, but not necessarily known for football. And but what helps them is in the last 2 years they've played high-end football in a big conference on national TV in major stadiums.
Yep.
And the bright lights of Las Vegas hopefully don't bother them.
Well, here's another good one. Speaking of this, we can shift if we want to at this, but I wanted to bring up this topic because you mentioned it, and this is a good one too, because there's still no word yet, and the belief was that by the draft they're being answered. There still isn't. Is what does Pittsburgh do if Rodgers? I still think there's a shot Rodgers comes back last second, but
no. I mean, if I know as a Packer fan dealing with Rodgers, he will let Timlin know 2 weeks before training camp. The question
McCarthy?
Is, or sorry, McCarthy. Sorry, yeah.
I was say Tomlin's gone, but yeah,
Tomlin's gone. But McCarthy, and the fact that McCarthy and him have a prior relationship might play into it. But
it's more than that. You know why that's why Pittsburgh hired McCarthy, right? There really wasn't any, because there were better options out there. So,
but I also think they must, by hiring McCarthy, they must think they're not that far off. That he's won a Super Bowl. A lot of people dish on McCarthy. He won a Super Bowl on a team that was not expected to win as a road team in every game.
But he hurt his career with the Dallas. He had 5 seasons there and couldn't turn the Cowboys, and he was supposed to turn the Cowboys around and didn't do that. So I think that's what hurt his credibility. I'm not saying
I blame Dak.
Yeah, I'm not saying McCarthy's a bad. No, I don't. But the thing is, I think that and this is where they are hitting him with, he's supposed to be the quarterback whisperer, and he couldn't make it work with that. Now, what does Pittsburgh have to lose? Nothing at this point, because obviously they're in a state of transition regardless now. New coach after almost 20 years. I think it was well overdue. I think Tomlin just was not getting it done. Nothing against Mike Tomlin. Sometimes a change is needed.
Yep.
But let's say hypothetically, let's say now Pittsburgh does not have. I think they're putting too much of their chips. The fact that I'm not saying Rodgers doesn't come back, but they really didn't do much. I mean, they drafted a young quarterback in the draft. They still have Will Howard and Mason Rudolph. But like, are you really going to ride with one of these guys and expect to go to the playoffs?
They're not going to ride with Mason. What I think they'll do is apparently they really do genuinely like Will Howard. And from college, I mean, he played at Ohio State. He played in major games and things. So
but it's different. The NFL is a whole different animal, and that's the thing.
It is, but he's played in front of 80,000 seat stadium. Now,
but even at that, the best players still buckle the draft. But I mean, you can come in and be a Heisman winner and say, "Oh, I did all this stuff," but you see the bright lights of an NFL field, and there's a much higher stake involved. And sometimes, like what's his name? Who? Well, I don't want to like Ryan Leaf is just one example, but others. Ryan but like
Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, another one. But like huge collegiate career, looks good, looks great. Yeah. Giovanni Carmazzi was another one. Had a great career. Hofstra was supposed to be this next, all that didn't last 2 seasons. I'm not saying Will Howard can't be that, but I'm saying is that the idea is that when you don't have, like, maybe they sign a veteran guy. I don't know. I guess I think they're just putting too much stock in Rodgers coming back. Now, again, I don't think it's for nothing. I think he does make that decision.
I'm looking at the available quarterbacks.
This is where it's fun, yeah.
You got Rodgers. You got Russell Wilson. You have Cooper Rush. You have Jimmy G. You have Teddy Bridgewater if he's in coaching high school. Actually, he got suspended. Did you hear that story? He got suspended for teaching high school for giving kids meals or something.
Yeah, I think he's still going to serve that suspension yet. So yeah,
you've got Easton Stick. You've got Jeff Driscoll. And you've got Brett Rippon and John Wolford. Like,
yeah,
unless you're bringing in a college free agent or a retired player, that's
very sexy options there. Yeah. And I can tell you, Pittsburgh's not going Russell Wilson. They won't go back there. I mean, the only really one I would say that maybe they could entice him, and I would make a phone call at least. But Jimmy Garoppolo wouldn't be a bad, at least for a season. I mean, at least to know what you have behind you.
The only thing with Jimmy G is you just have to check his fragility. What's his health like?
Well, that's the problem with Steelers line. I mean, I think again, ultimately Rodgers comes back, but I truly think this will be the last season because he's not. The arm is, he's at that Favre point. The arm is just not there now. He's starting to show that the signs are just not, he's not elite anymore.
How old is he? 41?
42.
42. And by the end of the year, he'd be 43. Now, athletes have gone further than that, but at a physically and mentally taxing position.
Yep.
It's funny, like in the old days, you see those pictures with the Oakland Raiders and George Blanda. George Blanda was only 37 or something, but he looked so much older.
Well, he did play. He's the oldest active player. But see, the problem was he was 49 years old when he retired. But what they don't tell you though is he played more kicker. He wasn't a full-time starting quarterback.
He was a kicker, but still, you still have to be, but.
And he played quarterback snaps, but that's why I said Brady did it because, and in my case, I know people still argue, oh, he didn't defeat. I still say Brady defeated Father Time because at 45, he was his first ever starting quarterback for all regular season games. That had never happened before. He outbeat the last person to do it was Steve. I think it was a tie. Well, Steve DeBerg and then Warren Moon were the last actual active starters and they were 44 and like 45 and 300 and some days or 200 and some days old.
The other older story, excluding this Phillip Rivers stuff, he ain't going.
Yeah, I don't count that. Yeah, pre-games.
I remember watching Vince Evans, and how old was he when he was quarterbacking the Raiders?
Oh, geez, he had to be up there. I think it was a little bit before me, though.
Yeah, Vince Evans, I remember doing that. And
what year was that?
Vince Evans would have been late 80s, early 90s.
So like I was just probably when I was born. I was born in 89, so probably like right at that cusp. Yeah, okay.
Let me look up Vince Evans.
Because the name kind of rings a bell, but I've heard a lot of the old timers. That doesn't sound as familiar as I've heard it before.
Well, he was one of these guys that was always kind of a backup, but he always got a job.
He's like the what's his name? AJ Feely back in the day. He was a solid
Yeah,
backup guy.
or the guy that just retired, PJ Walker.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. Okay, so Vince Evans was born in 55.
Okay.
Started in 77 and played until 95.
Okay, so he was
So
around when I was little. Okay.
55 to 95. He was 40.
Okay.
His last year with Oakland.
Okay, that's still, I mean, see, it's not impossible, but
no, but you look at his stats, and he has some years where he threw for almost 3,000 yards. He has some years where he threw for 36 yards. Like he just, that's the life of a backup.
And you look at it too. Think about it. Like you could tell. And again, I have no disrespect to these guys. They're some of the greats. I watched them. I mean, I like Breeze more than Roethlisberger, but you could see they were at the end where the talent was just their bodies were catching up to them. They weren't, not everybody can do the Brady thing and look like ridiculously healthy at 45 and go out there and sling it. And
And how old was Montana when he would have been in the late 30s?
38, I think 38, something like 38. I want to say 38 or 30. 30 probably. Who was the oldest? Because Manning was the oldest to retire, 38, I think, at that time. Elway was up there too. Let me look. It's going to drive me crazy.
But those guys like Johnny Unitas, like the photos make him look real old, but that's 1976. So who knows?
Well, yeah.
Really,
So let's see. He was born in Joe Montana was born in he's 69. He was born in 56.
And he went
10, 20, 30, 40, 39. He was 38. He was 94. Okay, he was 38. Okay. Yep. So
that's like I would say for 90% of quarterbacks, once you hit 35, you can the client it's there.
Usually start. And again, the only rarity was the Brady exception, but he worked ridiculously hard to keep his body in shape. So that's if you're going to do that, it's everything's possible.
Like Brady, even John Elway, you go to Drew Brees. I mean, even Phil Rivers went late. They're the unicorns. Like you might get 4 quarterbacks in the whole league that could do that.
Well, and the problem with Brees is Brees could have went longer, but because of the shoulder injury, his shoulder was giving out. The sparks were falling out. The pieces were his legs were good, but he just didn't have. And the other person I mentioned, who I think he probably could have played into his mid-40s also, had he not had the severe spinal injury, was Peyton Manning. But because of that injury, he probably could have gone. I could see him probably playing until 43 and 44, but he retired at 38 because.
But he made his bank. He'd won a Super Bowl.
2.
He didn't have anything to prove. It's obviously had an interest in broadcasting or entertainment. He made his debut on Saturday Night Live, and he does that with the Manning Brothers cast or whatever they call it.
Yep. Well, you know who looks good, though? He's coaching now, and his son looks a lot like him. He's going to be first-round probably ballot in 2030 on the draft. So,
another Manning run?
Marshall Manning,
Is he declared for a school?
Well, he's only, I think what is he, 16?
Oh, okay.
He's young yet, but his Peyton's coaching his high school team. Like he's actively, but he looks. I was watching footage. There's footage of him on the practice field. He looks like his dad throwing the ball. So
the question is he going to be a volunteer or is he going to be what is Mississippi State? The Running Rebels? No, not the Running the Rebels.
The Rebels. I don't know. Maybe he goes down to Louisville. Archie go Texas Tech,
or maybe he screws them both over and goes to Clemson. Who knows?
Maybe or maybe he goes to follow his dad. Dad went to Tennessee, so
yeah. So
I mean,
yeah. Oh, Las Vegas scored. So Vegas is up 1-0 over
1-0. I saw that. Yep, I have the stat alert. So any hockey fans, be prepared. If you're, I'm kind of I'm not torn because I still like Vegas over that. I'm not thrilled with the Ducks. I wish they go back to the old purple and I don't like the orange and
the orange. I was just thinking that. I thought it was one of those third jersey things, but they obviously are sticking with it. So
no, you know what they're doing. What they're doing is they're bringing back. They're almost doing like what the Commanders are doing now with the old Redskin. They're trying to mix old with the new. So they go back to old logo, but they're using the newer colors and yada yada and this and that.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a mishmash.
But no, I liked the 2004 season. That was my favorite. The Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, purple and teal and white, and I absolutely love the colors.
Was that the year they won the cup?
Let me look. I don't remember honestly if they did. They had guys like Sergei Fedorov was the captain there. Ruslan Saleh. He actually died.
Because I remember when Jiggy was in net and they lost in the final, but he got MVP.
Yeah, let me see. Mighty Ducks, not the film, not the animated series. Oh, here we go. The Mighty Ducks. Yeah. Because now they're just the Anaheim, but they were the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim.
Yeah, they got rid of the Ducks pretty quick. Like it might have
But
only
they-
lasted 3 or 4 years.
But they're bringing back the old logo, and they got the Ducks. It's just kind of they had the stupid D thing, which they still wear on their shoulder. But
I always found the old logo not the best.
see, like here, I look at these photos. The white with the I love these old uniforms. The with the teal slashes down like the jersey and the purple numbers and the
Yeah, but that's because Charlie Sheen's on the bench.
not Charlie Sheen.
Emilio Estevez. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, hey, I grew up with that. You can't help that. But let's see. The original Mighty Ducks of Anaheim white jersey from 1993 to 2006.
Oh, did they actually go that long with it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Did they win
They won a cup. I mean,
see.
with the Niedermeyer brothers.
division? Oh, that's who I couldn't think of the other two. Rob and it was Scott and Rob Niedermeyer. That's right.
Yeah.
President's Trust Stanley Cups. Oh yeah. Oh, that was the year 2006.
Yeah, it's
2007. 2007 Stanley Cup final. They defeated the Anaheim Ducks. Defeated the Ottawa Senators.
Oh, that was the year the Senators went to the final. Okay.
Yep.
That was my favorite story on that one is they had a goalie, Ray Emery. God rest his soul, he passed on. But he was a known partier, drinker, used to imbibe and all kinds of different things. And one morning, if anybody knows Ottawa at all, it's run with canals. There's a canal system in the city. But in the winter, the canal freezes. So he showed up to practice one day on a snowmobile through the canal.
There you go.
But I think it was because he was drinking till 6 a.m, out at the establishments, and he was probably still under the influence. I'm not sure.
Yeah, my favorite. Well, I think I mentioned this. My favorite senator was the old-time captain, was Daniel Alfredson.
You like Dalsey?
Yep.
I was in Ottawa when the team first started, and you had like Alexei Yashin and a bunch of Freddie Brathwaite, bunch of players that were just not that good, but they tried hard.
I'm trying to think who else was an actual Canadian. I'm trying to think some guys I might actually know that were, because there's probably some guys I did.
On what?
Just in general. Just in general.
Okay. I was just.
Let me see.
And obviously Timu Solani.
Yeah.
And Paul Correa. I mean, I remember their first decent goalie was Guy Hebert.
Okay. Oh, he wasn't born. Okay, who did he play with? Oh, yeah, he was one of my favorite. He wasn't a Canadian. Peter Forsberg was one guy I liked a lot, but he was born in Sweden.
Peter Forsberg, yeah, he's a Swedish. Let me see. I'm gonna go to Ranker. You ever go to the site Ranker?
I've heard of it. Oh, there's one I like. I knew that. I knew there was one I knew that. Keith Premu was a guy I really liked.
Oh, Keith from Whitby, Ontario. That's where I grew up. Keith Premu.
Yep. He was one of my favorite all-time enforcers. I liked him a lot when he used to get in the fights.
Anaheim had the other one we didn't mention is Ryan Getzlaff.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Corey Perry, who's still playing. Chris Pronger, Guy Hebert, Rob Niedermeyer. Oh, Steve Ruchin. I forgot about
Steve Ruchin. That's I knew I was missing one. That's right, Steve Ruchin.
Steve Ruchin played he played Canadian university hockey.
The only other guy I know from that squad, I don't know if he was still there. I know he passed away it was a plane accident. Was Ruslan Saleh.
Oh, Ruslan Saleh, yeah.
Yeah.
Francois Beauchemin, Oleg Tverdovsky,
yep.
Cam Fowler, Bobby Ryan, Hampus Lindholm. You can forget about them all when you haven't seen them for a while.
Boy, it's interesting you find people from Canada that have interesting names. So that's,
Well, I wasn't looking for Canada. I was just looking for all-time players.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense. All right.
Up all-time players, yeah. But Steve Ruchin was Canadian. I don't know.
Yeah, I liked Steve. Let me see. Nope, I spelled his name wrong. Hold on. Let's see. I'm pretty sure. I think he's. Oh no, he is. That was my other favorite player. He actually just retired recently. I was not my favorite. Marc-Andre Fleury.
Oh, he retired last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the year, he signed a one-day contract with the Penguins to retire. And he practiced that day. And I think there was some speculation as to see if they could lure him in because their goaltending was a little suspect at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, let's see. But, I think he's got 3 championships with them, something like that.
Yeah. But the 1 year he got replaced halfway through the playoffs.
Yeah.
With the goalie that went to Toronto, and he sat in the minors for years, and he had played for Ottawa. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but somebody out there was screaming, "Bell, it's blah, 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 blah."
Let me see if I can find it. I'm at the end of his tenure. I think it was. I know it's going to bother me because.
Yeah.
Let's see. He finished the season. Let's see. Was it Matt Murray?
Matt Murray.
No.
Murray. Yeah. Matt Murray was an American. He won the Cup MVP the 1 year. He replaced Marc-Andre Fleury, I don't know, about the second round maybe.
Oh, he's playing with the Kraken right now.
Is Matt Murray actually on roster?
That's what it showed. Yeah, he's with the Seattle Kraken, looks like right now.
Oh, maybe he made it as a backup because he came to Toronto with high hopes and he ended up in the AHL Toronto Marlies, but he was making the same money. Toronto just didn't want him on roster.
Well, I can tell you if you can guess who my all-time favorite for the goaltender is. He spent a long time in the home state there in the Jersey Devils, but
Martin
Brodeur, yep, and 1 season with the Blues.
Martin, yeah, the end.
Martin Brodeur, and I believe his son came up with the Devils too. Yeah, his son is in the minor.
I saw his son play. His son played at least a year, maybe 2, with Joshua Generals, who are the junior team down the road.
Yep.
And but I don't even know if he was drafted, to be honest with you.
I don't remember. I honestly can't say. I don't know.
I wouldn't be shocked if, like, he didn't stand out in the OHL. I wouldn't be shocked if he's an East Coast League goalie. Like that's kind of his level, what he was at.
Yep.
Or you go to Europe, but not necessarily the Swedish league, which is the best, or the KHL. Maybe he played pro in Italy.
That could be.
Or Finland. Or the Swiss league.
So here's a fun one. So we'll switch. We'll make this our last topic because I want to talk a little about this because this is interesting. And we touched on this earlier, but and it's interesting too because there's a lot to uncover. I want to take this back to kind of the beginning, but what happened with the?
I was just gonna say, anybody out there who is a Tigers fan is crying because Kubal's out 2 to 3 months.
I saw, under elbow surgery. But in line with that, we're going to ask this. This is a bigger question for fans. I don't follow as much as I used to, but we were talking about the Boston Red Sox and what the heck happens here. So clearly, I didn't follow up to the point when things began to sour, but obviously there were some problems. Boston's season did not get off to a higher start like they hoped. They cleared house management-wise. They cleared house coaching staff.
I have never seen a manager fired that early unless it was for misconduct or something.
Right.
And secondly, I've never seen them got 6, because normally the interim would be the bench coach or the third base coach or whatever. Yep. 6 guys, batting coach, bench coach, bullpen, like and so
not to mention a legend and Hall of Famer in Veritek, the old catcher for that one there too. Team cat,
They did, but he was the only of the 6 they offered a job to.
Well,
they work up in hockey.
Well, but we know the truth. Think about it in a teaching stand. That's basic terms is you can either take another position or we're going to can your ass. Basically, they're saying is you can bow out gracefully and do something else, or
I think they appreciate his work ethic, and he's probably decent with the younger players. So he might be like a roving catching coach, a roving infielder coach, a double-A hitting coach. Yeah.
But I'm saying it's like the Belichick thing. Out of respect for that, you don't fire the guy, but you want him out because obviously it's not working anymore. So you just try to save face by saying, I'm not saying that's entirely that, but usually when teams do that, they're trying to save face saying, it's really not you, but it's you. But we're trying to seem for the public image. we don't want to tarnish your reputation of what you've done here, because I mean, obviously he's a huge stalwart for the Red Sox in those eras when they started coming back and winning and all that. So, but the funny part is I've never also seen when the team does that, and then obviously they're still not in the best spot. I think what are they dead? They're dead last in the division, but they did come back and what was it, 6 game winning? What were they? They turned back and won like a couple games in a row or something. The first game back was 17-1. They beat I forget who they beat.
They need to bring back Joe Girardi. Wouldn't that be funny?
Well, especially because he's a longtime Yankee. They never had him there. He could manage there.
I think Girardi works for the league. I think he's up in the head office. I don't know, player safety or whatever it is. He did, but I think he could be lured out for wherever he is if they was offered the job with the Red Sox.
I wonder if he would take it because again, you're with the team, you're with the Yankees organization so long.
Yeah, but you get offered $5 million to coach in the majors.
That's true. What is he, 61? He
has no more loyalty to the Yankees.
Oh, he's a sports broadcaster. That's what he's doing right now.
Is he broadcasting?
Yeah.
But again, there have been many a manager pulled from the broadcast booth. Like that's not ESPN or Fox or whoever. They're not going to hold.
Oh, that's right. The Phillies was his last stop. That's where he was. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that. I liked his style. The other guy I wouldn't mind would be like a Don Mattingly either, but
yeah. Well, Don Mattingly is now the interim Philly, right?
No, where is he? He's with.
I think he was the interim Philly when they fired Rob Thompson.
Let's see. He was with. Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay, I lost track of him. Yeah, you're right.
He was with Toronto for years, and he wasn't going to become the head coach with Schneider there, so we decided to move on. It was a cordial breakup. Like it wasn't,
I know he was with the Dodgers. I lost him at the Dodgers.
Yes.
And, the Blue Jays. That's where he was. The Blue Jays.
Yeah, he managed the Marlins before the Blue Jays.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No, before that, no, he didn't actually. Let's see. Wait, he
or maybe didn't manage them. He was on their staff.
Yeah, it's not showing here. I know he was. It's not showing here, but I know he was there briefly. Miami Marlins. He had 16. Oh no, as a manager, 16 to 22. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Dodgers manager from 11 to 15. Yes, and currently he's the interim manager for the Phillies right now. Okay.
But if Boston wants to get somebody, either it's somebody who's been fired, who's floating out there. I mean, you're not going to take another team's third base coach or bench coach.
You need an established guy. You need somebody at this point. You need a
Yeah, but like Boston, if you're a little intimidated or a little flower on the wall person, you ain't going to survive in Boston.
No. Like I know here's a huge splash. I know it wouldn't happen, but like it'd be really fun. Is like go out and convince like a Bruce Bochy to come in there, or you need a guru type, a guy that has really, and not saying a Showalter. No offense to Buck Showalter, but if the Mets experiment taught us anything, I think you need a little bit more experience there. But because now you're in competition, you're like what? You're 10 games out of first place, nowhere close. Which for me, the season could pretty much be over at this point. But it is what it is.
Yeah, because I mean, a team like Boston might want to get an up and coming coach or something, but you're not going to throw him in mid go.
No. If anything, you start by bringing guys in maybe as a bench or an assistant coach, like work them in the system, maybe bring them in with an established, let's say Girardi comes back or Bochy, a guy comes in. Maybe you have him for a season or two, but you have another coach in the wings that learns on the coaching staff, and you say, okay, so-and-so is here. He only wants to manage for a year or two. Now you had this guy under you behind you. Now we'll just promote you within because you worked with so-and-so for a year or two. The
other guy that's flipping out there that I think would have a blast is the old Blue Jay manager, John Gibbons. I think Gibbons is a bench coach with somebody. You need somebody who wouldn't like Gibby wouldn't get flustered by the Boston media. Like you need somebody like that.
Hey, I like Blue Jay coaches. We had a good run with John Farrell there, so they're not all bad stock coming over.
I forgot about Farrell. Oh yeah, John Farrell. Yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
So that could work. But again, established, good voice, good leader, good mentor. Good players coach.
Who is the other manager that's coached both the Jays and the Red Sox?
Ooh,
Blue Jay manager mid 80s, Red Sox manager late 80s, early 90s.
Ooh, that's gonna be a tough one. That's right before me.
Yeah.
No, let me see. I'm going to. There's no rule says I can't cheat it here. Let's see.
Nope, there is no rule.
Let's see. Who managed? I know I'll know it once I hear the name.
Yeah.
Let's see. But again, some of the names escape me. Blue Jays. And not last year, but just in general.
And he had a very famous confrontation with George Bell.
Oh, well, according to this, the only two, and I know it's not John Farrell, so Jimmy Williams.
Jimmy 1M Williams. That's right.
Okay.
Jimmy
American.
spelled Jimy.
Yep.
He was the
managed
assistant.
The Blue.
Yeah, he was the assistant under when the Jays had Bobby Cox. A lot of people forget Bobby Cox.
Oh, I love Bobby Cox when he was with the Braves and the whole same thing. I love Lou Piniella too. Same thing, just
not afraid to get thrown out. In the Earl Weaver style of managing.
Same thing with Lou Piniella too. That was why I like Lou Piniella a lot too.
And he went to George Bell one year because his fielding in the outfield was atrocious. He was not.
Oh, he did just die too, actually.
Oh, did he? But
Jimmy Williams.
He suggested to George Bell to play DH. And,
okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I remember that.
George told him to kiss his purple ass.
Yep. Yeah, he died January 26, 2024. He was 80 years old.
Yeah, he was a good guy. He was always seen as a good guy, but kind of, I think, a bit of a pushover.
Probably. Yeah, I mean, most guys,
Jimmy won.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, and if there's anybody listening that has a really good trivia question, and we promise not to touch Chat GPT, it'll all come from up here, send us one.
There you go. Oh, before we forget,
I was going to say, I've got good ones out of the top of my head, but if somebody else has a good one.
Oh, yeah, we'll take submissions. So let us know, email, whatever. We'll take all kinds. That'll work.
As long as you're not asking about career leaders in the National Lacrosse League.
Yeah, that's a little farther out there. Yeah, than I like. So sorry.
Failing, although John and Paul Gates were good in the NLL.
That's true. All right, so we're going to do, before we wrap up here, which is some great topics, we're going to get into more. We don't want to touch on a few things. Hope you guys, and again, if you have any ideas or want to talk any topics you think of we can talk about too, bring them in. We'd love to hear more options. I mean, always looking for more fun stuff. But we got some things we want to share, some important notes. If you didn't catch on the other shows, we do want to mention that. I'm going to throw them up. I'm not going to tell Bill. I'm going to surprise him. We'll see if you can catch on quick.
Okay.
We're just going to do a few. Let's start with It's like random backstory stuff.
Trivia questions?
No, we're gonna I'll give you the promo posters. We're gonna talk about some advertising here. Let's do this one. This is an easy one. Again, I shared this on a post, but we're gonna share this more often. But we talk about the network and everything. So just in case you guys want to know, if you're not familiar with some of us and the familiar faces there, here's basically our coup de grace of folks that are here that are behind the mic, those voices and sounds and the inspiration and the brains behind everything. This is a short list here, just to kind of know who's there, who's where. You've seen and heard a lot of us, but this is the complete roster lineup here, if you want to say that. With some others, we are meeting some new people too, but currently we anchor there, so it's pretty self-explanatory. So pretty good, some good photos actually. They look pretty nice.
If you want pictures of those, just ask us. We can send them to you.
Yeah. We can make that work. There you go.
Someone's inspired by Big Hoss's face.
Yeah, that it could be. I mean, they're inspired by something because he seems to get a lot of feedback. So that's a good thing.
And Jace is a great guy, guys. You have no issue with him at all.
Let's do the promos and I'll do the show announcements there. But actually, we'll do the first one. So let's throw up. I'm just looking. I just want to do a couple, and we'll talk about your show towards the end. And we'll talk about couple episodes this week. Actually, let's just start with this one. This is kind of the new one. We have a couple new shows lining up, but we do have one that's actually coming together quickly, and so we just want to share this briefly because we're kind of exciting. This is taking off amongst some others, but some of the other ones are not finalized yet. This one is pretty close to being finalized. So get your hats and seatbelts and buckle in for
the Take a Hit podcast. And
Boom.
currently we have 2 co-hosts. I'm not going to reveal that yet. You're going to have to
Tune in.
wait until it comes in. But just trust me, they're qualified to be on this show. I might make a guest appearance because I've been known to dabble now and again. Actually, I will in 15 minutes. So, but it's frank talk about cannabis, the culture, the strains, the medical benefits, the funny stories. If anybody has stories of their own, they want to email them in or record them and send them in. It's not going to be one of those, okay, then you grow your flower and then it's not going to be a strict.
Right.
It's going to be more chill.
There you go. That's a good way to put it. So coming soon, stay tuned. We'll announce that. The first episode will be coming out. We're just polishing and fine-tuning the remaining details that have to be.
Within the next 3 weeks, I have a good feeling it'll be out.
Very maximum. Yeah, I'm hoping for less, but that's just, we're trying to give ourselves enough time so that we can make sure everything's accounted for. So there is that. We have a couple of new ones. And again, I'm not telling Bill. I'm going to throw him out, see how well he does on the fly. Bing, bang, boom.
Okay, so we're looking for talent, guests, and podcasters. So this is kind of a catch-all poster. If you have something to bring to the network, we're looking for you.
Yep.
So if you've always wanted to be a podcaster, but you just need a bit of guidance, we'll take you. If you're someone who used to work in radio or as a public announcer, and this is the next extension of what you used to do, we're more than willing to listen. If you have an idea for a topic of a show and we don't currently have it, or even if we do, if it's a different niche, we'll listen. So right now it's unpaid. We're doing it for the fun, but things can change as we go. So as we grow and things become successful, so don't be afraid to email us at airwaykingdomnetwork@gmail.com or in the Facebook group or on Facebook Messenger.
Yep. And also the guest lister. If you want to be a guest on the show, if you want to test something out, try it out, or if we always say, like, if you want to get out there, we want to get some exposure. Maybe you're trying to get a product out there. Maybe you wrote a book.
If you've written a book, if you're a track and field runner and you've got a big race coming up, you want to promote the event. If you have a community event, maybe there's something going on that you want. There's a big recycling event or some kind of rally. Let us know. Come on out. I don't bite unless asked. So
there you go. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So there, and we usually get asked not often, but it could happen. But if you want a guest on there, hang out and chat with us. We'd love to talk and promote. A lot of people like to do that. We've had some guests on. We're looking for more guests for this year. So hit us up.
I think you could sit and chew the fat with us about sports. Great. I'm good with music, movies, pop culture. I don't know anything about video games. I don't know nothing.
Well, we have others for that, but we talk all kinds. So
yeah, we talk all kinds. I can only talk wrestling about pre-1991.
There you go. But we've had a lot. You guys know we've had a lot of guests. We are trying to look out. I'm going to get back to the research, trying to see if we can lock up some more special guests. Like we had some pretty good minors, celebrity guests. We're looking for some more. So again, all that applies. So anything you think interested there, let us know. And let's see. I think this one that's not the same. That's pretty much the same thing. I'm going to skip that one for now. What else do we have? That kind of covered that.
Well, the other thing before he gets to that is, if you are a company and you aren't in the situation right now where you could sponsor us, we can also work with you with professional collaborations.
Right. Yeah.
So if almost a tit for tat, you are able to do something for us and we can do something for you, and it works and it's mutually beneficial. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're looking again. Our idea is to get. We'd love to have paid sponsorship as well. That's always a goal. But if anything else, we want to get the brands and stuff out there so people know us, listen to all the stuff we have. So, like, if anything else, it's still a beneficially rewarding.
If anybody's willing to give us free samples of any product, we'll take it.
Yep. And Bill signs up first to try on the new swimsuit. So if you have any new bikini lines, there you go.
Yeah. Well, hey, it drives my wife wild. Maybe it'll drive other people wild. I don't know.
Well, we also do have. I had to throw this out just one time, but no, I'm kidding. just kidding. So, we could do that, but that'll break GPT. We can't do that. That might break that. This was the other one. We do this one, and we'll do at least one more promo for. We want to get this ad out here, but another big one that we're also looking to. Bada bada boom.
we are looking for someone who is comfortable and anxious to work in social media and management and organizing, because we have we're at a point in our network right now where we've got a lot of things. Justin does a lot. I do a lot. Jace does a lot. We're screening new podcasters. We are reaching out for guests. We are looking for ways to make ourselves more efficient. One of those ways is to have somebody who's willing to do the social media and do some scheduling and programming type of stuff. Now, we're not going to be able to pay right now. It could happen down the road, but this is ideal for somebody, one, that has an interest in it, two, wants to build up a resume, three, might be in community college, university, junior college, and is looking for resume building, practical experience. And once you get on, you'll be thrown right in there. So you're going to get every contact we have, you will have exposure to. So to me, it's an awesome opportunity. If I was 18 years old and looking to get into the business, I would jump on this. They didn't have this. When I was your age, there was no internet. So it was word of mouth.
Shocking,
so
right? Yeah.
Here it's available to you. So take advantage.
Yeah. Well, we'll listen to, again, send emails, contact us. We'll definitely reach out. We'll figure something out. We'll talk to you.
We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. We will probably set up some other accounts and others.
We're going to be across. We're going to do the same thing that we did on. We'll be on X. We'll be on Blue Sky. We'll be on Instagram. We'll be on anywhere you can look. You'll find us. We'll be on where?
Threads.
We'll be all over. The goal is to hit anywhere, because you don't know where someone's going to find you. So just to be accessible.
If you want us to be on OnlyFans, email Jace.
BI for talent there. Yeah, that can work there. There you go. And then lastly, we'll do one more.
I was going to say, just to let everybody know, we do have one central email address, airwaykingdomnetwork at gmail.com. And everything goes there. It all gets read. Don't think that because you're just one of 14 email, it all gets gone through between Justin and myself.
Every single one.
They all do. So if you have a link, if you have a picture, if you have a resume, if you have an idea, it will get looked at.
Which also reminds me lastly about that too. If you are looking to be a guest on the show, we do ask, and this is kind of our professional way to do it. Give us a little background about yourself, a little detail about whatever your business is or whatever your specialty is that we're going to talk about, and also give us a little promo photo so we can advertise ahead of time.
If you have witnessed Sasquatch, if you have created an invention that's super cool, whatever it is, if you're a life coach,
doesn't matter. Just give us a photo of yourself, because we want to advertise it well in advance so that we can let audience know, we can get it out there so people can prepare for it. Matter of fact, we will be announcing, we do have an interview coming up that we're going to do soon, which we'll get details out later.
If you're an independent band, if you are somebody that has a product that you think will be beneficial, just, you can see how I am. I'm not too needy. Just come on over.
Only in certain cases, but no.
Only in certain cases when there's food involved.
That's fair enough. Yeah, there you go. And then lastly, we'll do one more before we do the final closing things we'll talk about. But this is kind of one we want to plug a little bit, because we are finding success in finding people. We have a couple other shows that we're looking for. I won't do both, because we're a couple more genres we're looking for that are harder. But one of the ones we're trying to plug, and I'm still trying to connect with somebody, but this is kind of a growing one that if this does reach out to you specifically, we're trying to expand this one as well as a couple others. But I want to mention this one again, because I think this is a great idea to keep plugging this any chance we can get. So, Yeah, if you like the way things sound, if you like the textural feeling of things crunching, the thing that you wrap, the bubble wrap, if you like hearing things flush, if you like hearing things bang, if you like hearing things all over, hands in candy jars, ASMR is perfect. And so if there's anybody that's willing to create a podcast and host it, it doesn't have to be a long one, half an hour, every 2 weeks, you want. Whatever, you get complete creative control. So if you're an ASMR gal or guy, we want you. Yep. If you're thinking about maybe you haven't done it yet, maybe you want to start
No,
up, maybe you're trying to
want
find the
to
right
try?
spot.
Because quite frankly, as far as podcasting go, there's a little less in terms of preparation for an ASMR one, other than getting what you need and if you have a theme. So we want you.
There you go. And then lastly and shortly, I don't have a promo. I'm going to have Bill work. I'm going to do a collage later. I want to get a collage photo of all of our stuff. I'll advertise it. You guys know you're here watching us anyway. But if you want to catch more of Bill's stuff, you can catch him. He does feature on another series, which they're not part of us, but we'd like to talk about him, Land of the Creeps. If you didn't see that, check them out. We do like to give him a shout out now just because we like
Land of the Creeps.blogspot.com. Anywhere between 3 to 6 hours. Set your time aside.
There you go. But if you want to catch more Bill on the network, his show on the network is right there.
Music, movies, sports, and stuff. It's. I try to format it as like a TV show with 4 segments. And so this is only audio. It's not video, but I do plan maybe some video in the future with some interviews and some topical discussion. There's about 20 minutes per genre, maybe half an hour. So you'll get some music news, not necessarily news, but musical ideas that I come up with.
Right.
And movies. I wouldn't say I'm a reviewer, but last year I watched over 400 movies. So I know of what I speak. Sports, I've been a sports head since I was 5 and I'm 51 now. So there's lots of knowledge there. And stuff could be anything from headlines to something that's in the news to something that's happening society-wise. Or if I stub my toe and I want to swear about that for 20 minutes. Who knows? But you're going to get lots of fun. It's family-friendly. And I would appreciate subs, follows, and comments. Somebody comment on that.
Yeah, there you go. And speaking of that, too, if you guys like this more, you can also check out, we will be sharing more once we get the other YouTube channel going. We have the Airway Kingdom Network YouTube channel, which is going to feature more talent. We're still building it up because it is fairly new, so there's a whole process for that. But our channel here is established, so if you guys wouldn't mind, if you love what you're seeing here and want more, at least to give us an eye that you're liking this, do us a favor if you can and like and subscribe. We'd appreciate that. Also, don't forget to click the notifications bell so that you get notified when any of this great content comes your way. We want to make sure you know first. You can also find more at our website, j&jproductionstudios.com. Check out the link tree and the QR code as well as the scroller down below. You can see that. Everything recording for us is there. You can check it out. The merchandise store is there. If you want your own Patreon subscription, we're going to add content that's not seen anywhere else. You can do that there. And so many things.
We're in the process of creating things. Who wouldn't want my mug on your shirt? Really? Who wouldn't?
The more appropriate question is, who would love to sit on Bill's face?
I don't get many volunteers for that.
That's good. Well, we'll have to make a butt cushion or something. That'll make it more, they don't have a choice. So buy one, you get one free. But you guys can. And speaking of that too, though, not that, but if you guys also want to like and follow us everywhere, we're all attached somewhere. You can check out network stuff. Again, we're growing there. We're going to be showing different things.
Sam, I just wonder if you wanted to mention the spicy show.
Oh, I was thinking about that. So actually, we'll do that one last. We'll save the best for last because we actually do. This is one of the newest, I guess you could say, newest idea we had. I think I have the promo photo here. Let me just
latest idea. I have lots of them up here, but we're not going to jump before we can walk. So we're going to
see. And we do have the show. I will add once we get some other things arranged. We'll show you the photos. We have designed some new items for merchandise that we have big hoss. We talked about it. We did launch in a couple episodes, but if you missed that, we have another one. But here it is. Let me add it here so we can talk about this. But yep. So one of the newer ideas, we have an interesting one of sorts, and we should be specific of what we're looking for too. But yeah, there you go.
Okay, so it might look more risque than it actually is, or you could do it as risque as you wish. The Airway Kingdom Network is looking for people who want to discuss the adult side of living. Mm-hmm. So dating, having kids, and the things that really spur you on as a good, healthy sex life.
Yeah.
And so you can put all of that in. It doesn't have to be salacious, but it could be if you want it to be. That is kind of, we give you creative control. Yep. If you want to bring in, like, for example, if you know somebody who's an adult entertainer, or you just want to talk to your neighbor across the street who has to deal with a busy life and still wants to have a healthy sex life.
Yep.
These are the sort of topics we can have.
Or even, I was thinking too, along those lines is, maybe talk about keys to a healthy relationship. Maybe how do you keep the
Yes.
relationship going?
It doesn't have to be intercourse. It could be what dinners, what sets the mood.
What do you do on date nights? Do you go out to maybe
Yeah.
play some golf, movies, or maybe you have a book night you read as a couple, or something? Just some ideas. Maybe give us some.
I love taking my wife to the Chinese buffet, so that works.
You are a romantic at heart, aren't you, sir?
I'm romantic. Here's the creme brulee. Here you go.
There you go. We'll eat quick. We'll go home and maybe cuddle, and we fall asleep on the couch drooling.
Yeah.
But the idea there too is that maybe you guys have tips about dating. If you've been a couple for a long time, what do you guys do to do some fun stuff together? What do you do to keep the romance going? What do you all those little the keys to a good relationship kind of stuff.
I was going to say, how many dates does it take before you take it to that next step? Or you
I don't know. What do you tell?
I was going to say, or maybe you hold out until marriage. This isn't a religious thing. This isn't a judgment thing. We just want to know.
Sure, yeah, and maybe other listeners too. And if it's gonna, and our goal network wise is to be uplifting and to help. So this could be helpful for a lot of people. So
I know right now a lot of people are dealing with mental health issues, stresses in life, work stresses, financial stresses, things that are going on in the world. What's better than a good sex life? Really?
See?
I mean, between the exercise, the endorphin release, and just the way you feel in your head. I mean,
there you go.
So yeah.
So let us know. Keep it in mind. Again, airwaykingdomnetwork@gmail.com, or you can also reach out to Facebook, anywhere. We'll get in touch with you. And again, we do respond. So don't be afraid to reach out today.
If you have an idea we don't know, I've got a few more ideas in my head. But if you have a niche,
please share.
Please.
Yeah,
you want to do a podcast on mini putt? Great.
There you go.
Or maybe Sam could do one on the pitfalls of the restaurant industry.
Yeah, that'll get us canceled. So I'm gonna.
But I was gonna say the other thing you could do is food reviews. You want to go around your town and try different foods or ethnic foods, or and before we go, we have a very good podcast on our network called Chef Generi.
Yeah.
With Chef Michael, and they're only about 15 to 20 minutes. He doesn't talk at you; he talks with you, and he enlightens you, but not making you feel stupid.
There you go.
He's there for the average person. So check it out on our network. I'm sure there's links, and if there isn't,
we'll get some out there.
Or Jace will get it up there. Yeah.
And what we're going to do too is, and I'm saying this out loud for Bill for us, but we're going to reach out to our groups. I want to ask people for a logo or something we can use, like we do the promos here. So if anybody has, let's touch base with everybody. So I want to get in a central spot so we can start, flashing those up there and all that.
Or if they need one, let us know, and we've got fancy fingers.
So that's going to be homework for tonight, tomorrow, probably ish, or time of the night. But that's coming up as well. But that, and there was one thing I was going to mention. What was I going to say? Let me scroll through it. Maybe it's something I was thinking about. I don't think so. I totally blanked. That's okay. Yeah, so there you go.
That's what happens when you get old.
Yeah, I know. I've got too many things going in my mindset. But I guess we'll just say it this way. We got a lot of great stuff coming. Hope you guys will stay tuned for more. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Just reminders quickly. We'll do this as the end here. So tune in. We are looking right now to do this, but Wednesday night, the plan is, I don't think I have it on here, do I? I should really add this now that I cropped a few things out.
I got to go buy some cinnamon.
Oh, yeah, we do have the cinnamon challenge. We did announce that the other night, but that's coming up as well. Where is the other photo? Hold on, I gotta find it. Doody. Now that I have space, how far back does it go? My gosh. I feel like that. Oh, no, here it is. That's the wrong one. That's the right one. There we go.
See, this is the sexy side of podcasting.
Yeah, it shows you how professionally prepared we really are here. But since it is coming in, first of all, foremost, as we close, we'll say this, but it is still Star Wars Day, so May the 4th be with you all. Enjoy that. If you're watching a marathon, please do that. Tune in. Now, we are planning at this point, as of now, unless it changes, we are having a new episode coming up Wednesday night of Pod Squares. Be sure to tune in. What happens in the square stays in the squares. Will be the X's and O's to celebrate and have fun with you that night. Stay tuned for that. Also, check it out on Friday this week coming up. As of course, you guys know. And if you don't know, I'm going to remind you again. And apparently, I don't have that promo poster either. What is going on here? Good Lord. Let me back
We're
up.
just so busy, ladies and gentlemen. We're so busy and inundated with all kinds of business action, podcasters reaching out, that things aren't as organized. Hence, we need a social media manager.
For that reason, yeah. And a lot of the problem too is, unfortunately, a lot of cases are we switch between, like, there's different show features to use this stuff here. And so I don't know what I put, whatever you save in one, when you change to another one, the settings, everything's different. So like not everything's all in the same place, but I found it. Tune in Friday night, brand new episode of The Three Amigos. One mic, no limits. You never know what's going to happen. Sometimes we don't, but it's the ultimate party show of party shows. So if you want to join in, please do so. We'll be there Friday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to mark your calendar.
I may or may not be there. I am not sure.
That's okay. We'll let you know. Again, we'll work it through. And also a reminder, we are working this week. Our final goal is we are going to drop a schedule coming up for some of the shows that are going to be featured. That's coming up, so stay tuned. Keep an eye out for that. That way you'll know when your favorite shows that you begin to love them are coming on. You can check them out, and then we're going to have all that down. That's going to be my next project, Bill. We're going to work on that the next day or so. We're going to finalize that. And so you guys at home watching will know and get at least an idea of where the shows you're looking for at. And then we'll add to that as we conglomerate the rest of the group and everything as well. But because just so we can get that started.
There's always a few loose ends, and we're trying to tie those loose ends right now.
Yep, but it's like herding sheep or herding cattle. Sometimes you miss a few in between. You got to kind of like circle back, and there's a lot to do. So
make sure we didn't lose a child along the way.
That'd be very detrimental. Yes, we don't want to do that. So that's for sure. But yeah, that's all we got for now. That's it, you guys. So here's to it. Thank you for tuning in.
By the way, you see what I'm wearing? Les Habitants. They defeated les Bleus, Blancs et Rouges, les Glorieux, the Canadiens de Montréal, defeated the Tampa Bay Lightning in overtime on 9 shots. They won the game with 9 shots. It reminds me of mid-'80s Norris Division hockey, if you get that reference. So let's go Habs. They're taking on the Sabres, and they haven't played the Sabres in the playoffs since 1998. So this is going to be fun.
Your poor wife. I don't know how I really don't.
She knew what she was getting when she married me.
I know, but I still, you got, just so she knows she's not alone. I do give her my sympathies and tell her I'm really sorry. If there was a way I can help her with that.
When she comes down, she's the one that says, "Time to watch the Jays."
Okay.
Well, I was watching a movie, so she loves her football and she tolerates the rest.
Well, that's true. They say it's love at first sight. So there you go. So there is a positive there, but there you go. But that being said, you guys, again, for the What's Up Bro family here, What's Up Bro Sports Show and j&j Production Studios on Airway Kingdom Network there. Well, actually, Airway Kingdom Network is the station on from j&j Production Studios. You get the idea. We're happy you guys could tune in. More great stuff coming. We'll be doing another probably game corner soon. We like to play games. That's going to come out. I'm going to be doing another couple episodes. We have the Law and Justice show. We haven't touched on. We'll do that review show. I'm going to do more of Aikido and life in the martial arts. I thought that was pretty popular, so I have some more I want to do there. If you guys want to tune in for that. That plus a whole bunch more. We love you guys for being a part of this. Those of you that are following us,
if you're really good, Sam will do a demonstration for you.
If we get asked, I was thinking about it. I mean, it's gonna be harder with video, but I can do something. So if you guys, I see a lot of people do it. So I will say, if the interest is there and we get enough comments or feedback from it, I'll do another episode or two. I'll cook something up. So just for you guys, if you show support and ask for it, you'll get it. So keep that in mind and make sure you tune in for the next episode. But we're glad you guys are here. Glad you guys love the content. Again, thank you for being with us. If you've been with us since we started, this has been a 4-year journey, almost going into year 5 pretty soon. We're glad you guys are here. It's only gotten better. We've met a lot of great folks. You guys see how everything's growing and it's working out great. So we're looking forward to the future, what's to come. To each and every one of you that has been, each and every one of you that hopefully will be, that'll come on this journey with us. We have a big open family. We hope you guys come aboard and be part of us as well. But thank you for tuning in. It is still technically Monday night, but happy Monday, happy Tuesday to you if it's coming in early morning wee hours. Have a great week. We'll see you guys coming up very soon. Stay tuned for more action. Don't miss it. Your favorite place to catch it is right here. So good night and goodbye for now. And of course, and as always, you guys know, but we always say it just in case you forget. Until next time, when we see each and every one of you at the show. Cheers. Happy sports life, everybody. That's the final whistle. We're heading to the locker room. See you around, Coach. Good night.
Time for Gatorade.
Time for Gatorade. Let's go. Gatorade bath. Woohoo!
Thank you for listening to the podcast. Be sure to check J&J Production Studios on Linktree for all the streaming services and social media accounts where our shows are featured. We love and appreciate all your support. And as always, until next time, we'll see you at the show.